And we are back. Bryan Broaddus, appreciate you, sir. Thank you for joining us here on our beloved We Doing All Right program, and we appreciate all y'all for tapping into us. We had a victory last Thursday, and it feels good when you have a, like a Thursday win, and you can go in and watch all the rest of the games. We'll be making fun of the Eagles later, so y'all be sure to tap in and tune in on the channel there. But me and Bryan Broaddus gonna have a serious conversation about some Cowboy matters going on, and he got questions. Y'all know we love to, Q&A each other, so that'll be good to go. Bryan, I know you're doing all right, sir.
I'm doing fine. Yeah, man, I'm doing fine. And thank you. It was a great weekend. It was nice to not have to sweat my LSU Tigers over on Saturday, and nice not to have to sweat a Cowboy game on Sunday. So getting ready for the Steelers and looking forward to it. But as you mentioned, a lot going on with your football team. And like I said, I got a few questions for you. I'd be interested to hear your reply to them.
We don't have to sweat about a Cowboy W, but we do have to sweat about the damn defensive end position, Bryan Broaddus. Boy, we was already kind of slim at that position. We was like, all right, we let these guys go. Let's see how we can make some change, how we can adapt to losing those guys. And then you lose Sam Williams, and you go, damn. Okay, Let's see if we can make another situation. Let's figure this out a little bit more. And then you lose your best pass rusher and your best run defender. So it is looking rough. Marshawn Nealon is forced to be your first defensive end out on the field, Bryan. But what about the rest of them? What else are we looking at?
Yeah, see, this is where in the timeline, really, when you dig in to what's going on, I was talking to some people this weekend in the organization about it, and it looks like to me the Micah Parsons one, you're looking at a timeline after the bye. So San Francisco would be that return. He's going to miss the Pittsburgh game, the Detroit game. We'll have the bye, and then you'll get ready for San Francisco. The Liz Frank foot injury for Tank is pretty severe. And this thing is, when I started to talk about missing 4 games, they were talking, my friends there over in the organization were talking, that was pretty optimistic. This thing could go 6 games for sure. So, we'll see how that all plays out. But this leads me to my first question I want to get to you, sir. Is it unrealistic, Voch, for us to expect Carl Lawson to fill in either one of these positions? Is it unrealistic for us?
Yeah, 100%. I don't, when you're looking for help, for a new, end to come in or whatever, you have got to consider the idea that, okay, well, we need somebody that's starter-esque or as close to a starter as you can possibly get them. So let's just say that we trade for a guy or we poach somebody or whatever, Bryan Broaddus. You would hope that person went through a camp. You would hope that person is, conditioned. You would hope that they started some games, right? You would hope to the good football guys that they got a couple of games under their belt, Bryan Broaddus. But because just asking Carl Lawson to go from the couch to just kind of warming up with us and getting acclimated, and then Mike McCarthy call it his ramp up period. All right, you got to start, and we need you. I think that's unrealistic for Carl Lawson. If I had to guess, I don't know the numbers, but if I had to guess, I would say that Tank Lawrence's reps throughout a game is maybe in the 30s. I would assume. Right. Shaq Lawson just coming off like a 5-snap game, maybe like an 8-snap game. So that's a huge ramp up for him. So. Yeah, Bryan, I think it's unrealistic, one, to assume that Carl Lawson could just come up in here and do something, but I think it's even more unrealistic for us to perceive him as some sort of starter or to have some sort of starter productivity. I think you need a guy that's been doing this for a couple of weeks, couple of months.
See, but this is where I disagree with you on this, is because, Carl Lawson has been with you now, 4 weeks. I'll say this. If they go out and sign somebody off the street, then I think you're going to have a problem. Somebody, as you mentioned, on the couch, not acclimated, and all that stuff. I'm going to say, okay, Carl Lawson ain't Carl Lawson of 5 years ago, but damn, you know what? Carl Lawson, go be Carl Lawson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You watch him in the Jets film and played the run well, but, didn't have the burst, didn't have the explosiveness. There's a couple of times you watch him, those 5 to 8 plays that he gets where you go, well, okay, he's got a little something, but why am I sitting here thinking that Carl Lawson can help you?
Mm.
I'm kind of like thinking that, he's been in they've been practicing long enough with him that, maybe this is, you can maybe catch lightning in the bottle here.
Sure.
But I know one thing, Voch, as my old days as a pro personnel guy, and I'm going to get with my gang of 7 guys. So as you and I proceed through the shows this week, I'm going to get us a list of guys we need to talk about or go evaluate or go poach. Mm-hmm. I love the idea of going and poaching somebody.
Sure.
But I'm not interested in signing somebody that's been on the couch for the last 4 or 5 weeks. That's not going to do me any good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know. Okay, let me ask you this. They've got Cook as the running back. Are you more interested in putting Tank on IR and going and maybe trading for an end, at least for some depth?
Yeah.
Or maybe a guy that can or are you interested, if you're going to make a trade, and this is going to sound bad because you should be talking about trading for an end and you should be talking about trading for a running back. You should be.
Sure. But
because they got Cook, they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. And there's a side of me that's wondering if they're keeping Cook around just for insurance.
Yeah.
I use the air quotes there if you're listening to us on the airwaves. But I just wonder, to me, if you said, hey, I got to go get, or do you have another guy? Would you go trade for a wide receiver? Is there some position that you're thinking, if they make one trade, and they could help, where are you going to go? And me now, I'm kind of thinking, the depth at this edge ain't very good.
Yeah.
It ain't very good.
So, Brian, I'm over here trying to do some Googles just to see how much has changed between now and camp, right?
Right.
Has Al-Qaid Muhammad signed to somebody? Like, is he playing with somebody else?
I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't. Yeah.
I think that's the kind of conversation.
You're going back.
Yeah.
And so there's some guys that you saw against the Rams and the Raiders and the Chargers. You're going back and doing that one is what you're doing, right?
So I just looked it up. He doesn't have a team. All right, cool. Right. But he was a guy that I looked at him and I just at least went, okay, well, he can play some downs for me if I need him, right? Shaka Tony wasn't one of those guys.
Shaka Tony wasn't one of those guys, no.
But I looked at Muhammad, right? So now my new question is, if I got to trade for somebody, Brian, it's not an edge guy. I wouldn't personally trade for an edge guy because I still feel like I have an emergency at running back. I have an emergency, if you want to call it like wide receiver 2 or something like that. I have an emergency at defensive tackle if you still want to. And look, Mozzie had the best game we've seen from him. I still think that's an emergency, Brian. But at defensive end, man, I think, can you live with Nealon, Muhammad, Golston? Can you live with Tyrus Wheat? Can you live with not Shaq Lawson, Carl Lawson? Can you live with those 5 guys for 3 weeks, then Parsons come back, right? I think you can live with those 5 guys. Can I continue to play offense the way I've been playing offense? Can I continue to play one tech the way I've been playing one tech? I think that those are bigger emergencies. But Brian, the internet has been talking. I don't know if you've been noticing, because you're a very busy man. You out in these streets. I don't know if you've been looking at the internet. There are 2 disgruntled players out there in the ethos right now. Bryce Huff with the Eagles, they don't like him, and he don't like them back. And our guy Hassan Reddick with the Jets, he still hasn't signed a contract with them, Bryan Broaddus. Voch says this. Entertain me with this, Brian. You know the Cowboys ain't finna throw no money at nobody. But this is considered an emergency, Bryan Broaddus. Do you think it's realistic that the Cowboys to throw some real paper and a draft pick at Hassan Reddick from the Jets?
You know what? If Hassan Reddick was signed up, but the problem is, the minute I trade for Hassan Reddick, he might sit there and say, you know what, I want, you're going to pay me to do this. Hassan Reddick has shown far more resolve than I ever believed Hassan Reddick.
I'd have took that money, Brian. I'd have been on the field and took that $1 million. I'd have took that money, Brian. Ooh.
I tell you what, but I don't. And does it make sense? Sure. But is it something that Dallas would do? Damn good and well they won't do this.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that. I mean, it's causing, they've got a situation where they've got to sign Micah Parsons next year anyway, too. I mean, you think they're going to pay money for an end?
Sure.
I mean, I'm not yelling at you this way. I'm just saying.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that to me, that's just so out of character for them. You're going to get Muhammad.
Yeah.
Is something they will absolutely do.
Yeah.
That is something that they will, well, hey, we got to have some depth, and hey, who do we relate? It would be so out of character. I would love to see him make a trade. But they're not going to trade for a guy that's already holding out that they're going to have to also pay.
Yeah.
I mean, he can say, yeah, sure, I'll play under this current contract just because he hates the Jets that much.
Sure.
If that was the case, you're already about 5 weeks into the season, prorate that, maybe you got a guy.
Yeah.
But if it's trade for a guy and I don't have a deal with him already or an assurance that he'll play, man, imagine the egg on your face if you did that.
Yeah.
But Dallas ain't going to do that, man. So you think that you can get by with, say, a Muhammad,
sure,
and then Golston, Wheat, Nealon, that group.
I think you can get by, and especially,
and then you're going to be MFing them every week when they got no pass rush
every week. But Brian, that's the game that we playing. That's the game we play. And because look, this isn't what Voch would do, because Voch would go spend all that money and go get a wide receiver, one take a running back, and a damn defensive. That what Voch would do. But we're playing by how the Joneses get down.
Yeah, I understand.
The Joneses are not going to do it. It makes a ton of sense though. So now what we have to do, Bryan Broaddus, is I got to look up and go, all right, so Randy Gregory got cut by Tampa Bay in August, so maybe we can look at him. Yannick Ngakoue signed to the Baltimore practice squad a couple of days ago. Maybe you can poach him if you think he's available. Tyus Bowser was a guy that came in and visited with us, so there's some type of familiarity there, but he's on the Seahawks practice squad right now, Brian. So that's the options that we have to talk about. Yeah. But Bryan Broaddus, man, I got another one from the internet streets, and Brian, pardon my language, this shit might make some sense.
Okay.
This shit might make some sense, Brian.
Wait. Before you even say this,
please.
This shit makes sense.
Yeah.
For Voch, or does this make sense for the Dallas Cowboys?
For the Joneses, Pacifica, Mike McCarthy, Bryan Broaddus, Voch Lombardi. This makes sense for all us. So Bryan Broaddus. Let me type it in because I know it's hot in the streets. It's fresh. We won't get a lot of views on this because it's fresh. The Cleveland Browns.
Here we go.
And this is from Spotrac. I'm gonna pull it up so you can see it too, Bryan Broaddus. This is from
Spotrac. So you're gonna tell me money is what you're gonna tell me.
The Cleveland Browns converted all but $1.21 million of Amari Cooper's 2024 salary into signing bonus, making him an extremely affordable trade candidate. He now makes $941,000, Bryan Broaddus. Let me tell you something. The Cowboys want some of that. The Cowboys want some $900,000, Bryan Broaddus. And that's Amari Cooper. That'll be a perfect wide receiver too for you. Dak Prescott familiarity. Come on, Bryan Broaddus. What you think about Amari Cooper there?
Yeah, you know what? I'm at the station here at 105.3 The Fan, and I have another bet payoff this week. Last week, your boy had to shave his eyebrows. You notice I got no eyebrows.
That's a damn shame. I never would have done
eyebrows. Got no eyebrows because last week I lost a bet. This week I had the Cleveland Browns. Lost another damn bet. They couldn't get the ball to Amari Cooper down there in the red zone, so they go get beat by the Raiders. So your boy is 0-4 in bets. So I got to do something. I got to dress up like Miss Doubtfire or something this week.
You got to quit betting, damn it. That was you need to do.
I know. I got to quit betting. But, man, you know what? Man, this is what I do. Man, this is where.
Man, Voch.
Man, Voch. This is where. But see, to me, it makes sense. Yeah. But the problem you run into, man, that thing didn't end very well here. Yeah. It did not end very well. I mean, got COVID for the Kansas City game. Yeah. We're still sick for the Raider game. Yeah. You lost both those games. Yeah. And then you got people, well, Well, why is, that's that whole thing we were dealing with. Well, the non-vaccinated players here and the vaccinated players here, and why are we not doing what we're supposed to do? And hey, trust me, you're talking to a guy yesterday that got the COVID shot and the flu shot at the same time. My left arm is on fire right now. Okay. Man. But, and I'm all for people's rights, whatever you need. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Sure. I'm just doing it for me. But whatever you do, but I just wonder if that ended so poorly that thing, they would not entertain that. It makes sense. It absolutely does. Yeah. And it would be the pun. Yes. A shot in the arm for this offense. Yeah. You're absolutely right. It would be. And is it affordable? You're absolutely right. It is.
Yeah. Man,
but the problem is, somebody let their money get mad. Mm-hmm. Somebody let their money get mad. And that's that gentleman that owns that team. Let his money get mad.
Do you think this goofy character named Jerry Wayne Jones could actually get out of his own feelings to do something that'll benefit his football team? Because honestly though, Brian, I think the fan base feels real bad about Jerry Wayne Jones right now. They feel real bad about him. And I never met the man. I don't know how much he cares. I don't know, I run a football team. Okay, I don't know. But I think this would be a move in a positive direction in terms of getting back in the good graces. This will at least show me that Jerry Wayne at least cares about some type of improvement. Because I tell you what all the other teams going to do, all the other teams that are directly competing with you, Lions, 49ers, Eagles, whatever, they're going to go get as many people as they possibly can. They're going to show up to fight you. We just can't keep going with this, oh, you got to step up, you got to step up. I think this would be the perfect display of, hey, y'all, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get Cooper up here. That's how you say it, Cooper. I'm trying to get Cooper up in here, man. We're going to do it. We're going to give him a little money. We're going to make this work. We're going to make our offense a little bit better. Hey, we rolled out there versus the Giants, man. The offense looked a little weird. We're trying to find an option outside of CeeDee Lamb. How beautiful would that be? The changing of the guard. CeeDee's the one guy now. Cooper's the two. How great would Eddie cheap? How great would that be? But Voch personally, Bryan Broaddus, I don't think Jerry Wayne Jones got that in him.
Voch is usually right. Voch is usually right. And to me, this seems very Brett Veach, Andy Reid. It seems very much their line of thinking. Yeah. That, we're banged up at wide receiver at Kansas City. We're hurt. Let's go get a guy that we kind of that's productive, that's not making a lot of money. But that's I don't know if this organization has that in them. I just don't. And I like what you said, because the general manager is taking a beating, because they tell us, the director of player personnel tells us this, that player acquisition is a 24/7 job. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's always true. I don't know if that's always true. Yeah. And I think that if they told me player acquisition happens between January and April 29th, when they work on the draft. Yeah. If you told me that, I would say, yes, that's true.
September, October, not going to be able to do it.
Hell no, man. We ain't interested in wheeling and dealing and going and getting some guys. Yeah. People are mad about that runner last night. That runner takes off 80-something yards or whatever, and people are mad about that, Oh, no, Jerry, we don't believe you. You could have afforded him, You didn't even try. Yeah. So a lot going on. It makes too much sense. Mm. It makes too much sense to go get this guy, which is probably why they won't do it. Mm. But they'll tell us player evaluation's a 24/7 job. Yeah. Not for you, it's not. Yeah. Not for you, it's not. Yeah. But, that's the way it is. It's unfortunate.
Sure. It is, Bryan Broaddus. Did you have any other questions?
Yeah, I do.
Please.
Okay. The thing I'm getting right now is people and folks on Twitter and I are having discussions about Mike McCarthy, this whole creativity, stealing plays, this kind of stuff. Voch, what do you say to people that want to argue with you that Mike McCarthy's offense was number one in scoring, number one in this, number one in that last year?
You say that offense were those things because, and I feel like it was all but said in the press conferences. If you listen to everything that was said around that time and just kind of thread the needle, the Cowboys will tell you. If you listen to all this media availability, the Cowboys will tell you. Mike wanted to do things his way.
Right.
CeeDee Lamb cussed.
Yeah.
We should do these things. These things magically happened. We got better.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a mistake at all, Bryan Broaddus. We were a much better team on the ground. We were a much better, like a high motion usage team, Bryan Broaddus. CeeDee Lamb, he probably had 9 targets or something last week or something like that. CeeDee would have 14 to 15 something targets easily. And the rest of the guys kind of get in where they fit in or whatnot, right? Think about this, Brian. When we're watching the game last year, when that offense was like top tier, the best throw that Dak and Ferguson has is the seam.
Seam, yeah.
And we'll throw that joint 2 or 3 times a game, Brian. Last week we threw it once. We didn't go back to it. And we played against a team that plays a ton of one high. The Ravens played a ton of one high, cover 3. Seams eat that for breakfast. We don't throw it as much, Bryan Broaddus. So you can clearly see the difference. Yeah, at some point this offense did look great. And the personnel is relatively the same. Gallup was a wash. You could say Tolbert is Gallup this year. It's the same personnel, but you just can't have what you had last year running hitches and curls 50% of the time. And this ain't me being hyperbolic or just saying passively or whatever. You can look up the analytics. Last week we ran hitches 52% of the time. That can't be the case. So, we just haven't gotten to a point this year where somebody's getting cussed out. Mike McCarthy has given the reins over and Dak can fully take over. I assume Dak has fully taken over. That's what it looked like.
Do you think Dak's checking out of plays that Mike's calling that might be things that people would say, oh, I like that. I like that. That's okay. I get that. That's what we're doing. I like that. Do you think Dak has got so much control that he's changing Mike McCarthy plays?
If I'm the head coach, let's just say I'm in charge of the offense, whatever my title is. Dak is my quarterback.
Yeah.
And I call, like a trips right smash flat or something, whatever. That's just what I called it, right? Just some little whatever.
Yeah.
And versus cover 2, so that's gonna work. If Dak goes up there and say all curls.
Yeah.
When he comes to the sideline, when Dak comes to the sideline, bro, what the are you doing? The damn smash flat. What it was there.
Yeah,
it was there. Why'd you call? I'm asking questions now. And look, to be fair, Dak, the highest paid player in the league, he got clout over there. He probably got a lot more clout. He's going to be along way much longer than Mike McCarthy, assuming, right?
That's true.
So I would still ask, yo, bro, like this was there. Why you running flats? And then I'd ask him, why you running again? Then by the end of the week, I'd be like, yo, Dak, we ran slants 50% of the time. Why?
Yeah.
And Brian, I would be, in my personal opinion, I think I would be silly to assume that Dak is checking 40 plays into slants into hitches where we're running hitches 50% of the time. Yeah. That sounds like your play caller is calling hitches 50% of the time, not Dak checking into it. Dak ain't got the time. He ain't got the time to check into something 50% of the time.
Yeah, people are discussing with me. They're like, I threw out there on Twitter yesterday. I'm like, I would take one of my 26 coaches and I listed off 5 teams that I would watch, and I would steal plays. Give me 3 or 4 that fit our personality.
Sure.
People are like, oh, good idea. And then I felt like I got all the Mike McCarthy burner accounts coming after me and say, well, wait, it was the number 1 offense. It was the number 1 scoring. And I'm like, well, you also had 6 interceptions for touchdowns last year, which got on your ledger. That always helps.
Yeah.
But people want to argue with me about it. You know what? I get it. Mike can move the ball. I just think at times it is a struggle the way they move the ball.
Yeah.
That's my only problem with Mike McCarthy. It's not Mike McCarthy, the play caller. It's Mike McCarthy, like hey, can I make your job easier running Cooks behind picks like you did the other day?
Sure.
Can I run Lamb behind picks? Can I can I get the tight end up the seam more? Can I throw the ball to Hunter Lipke in the flat? I'm trying. This offense at times, it's hard to watch because it's such a struggle. It's a struggle. Yeah. I mean, it has to it's on a thin razor edge, thin line when a 3rd and 2 play is like oh shit.
Yeah.
What are they about to call here?
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Brian, I do what you do all the time. I watch other offenses. I just like watching. I was watching Bucks versus Eagles, and I was like, man, how does Cade Otton get that wide open? Like we're fighting, like Jake Ferguson's, like his tight window stuff is like the ball is at his fingertips, and he got to get hit to get it. How does Cade Otton run so wide open, Brian? I be having questions, man. I be having questions. So Mike McCarthy, he can move the ball if he's doing things the right way. He's not consistently doing things the right way. He'll have a phenomenal game where we go, boy, this offense did all the stuff that modern offenses do when they're working. But man, why does he stop doing it the next game or the next series?
That's the thing about the struggle. And people arguing with like, well, he didn't want to show everything. And I'm like, he didn't have to show everything. I mean, some of these teams run the same damn plays over and over and over again out of different formations. Yep. They just different looks, different motions. It's to me, with the personnel you have, why is it such a struggle at times? Why does it the first drive of the game, it looks damn good. And then the next 2 drives, it looks like a YMCA football team. No offense to the YMCA football teams. I'm sure there's some that can move the ball.
Sure.
But to me, it's just crazy that I don't want to argue with people. I like the back and forth, the discussion. But, man, when you do watch other teams play, it's a far more simple way of attacking people. That oh, wow, that's a good combination. That's all I'm asking for.
Sure.
A little bit more simplicity of finishing it, it doesn't have to be simple how they run it, but it needs to be simple like, man, that's well executed. Oh, that just got him a chunk play or an explosive play.
Sure.
Instead of throwing the slant over the top of an edge going up and then Lamb having to deal with a guy on his back,
To your point, though, Brian, just talking about the Cowboy fan that's saying, oh, well, they don't want to show all their good plays or whatever. Okay, so first of all, that's nonsense, okay? Because you don't want to get to a point where you're losing games to where, I got to hide all my plays or someone start losing game, right? Because, okay, let's just say, right, Brian, that Saints game could come back and haunt you for real. It can come back and haunt you, and you know how important having that bye is, right? The playoffs, the first round bye. Everybody's got to play 3 games to get to the bowl. You just got to win 2. Like it's something to, and you don't want to get down to the end of this thing and you look back at the Saints game and go, damn, boy, or almost lose this Giants game.
Yeah, true.
Because you're talking about saving plays. I don't want to hear nobody talk about Mike McCarthy save play, because that's no excuse. Even if that's the case. If you only got enough good plays to last a couple of games, to where everything else is all hitches and slants, you don't need to be calling plays.
You don't need to be calling plays. You don't need to be calling plays. That's for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
Oh man, I'm good.
So you got
I just got the discussion. Like I said, I got in discussion with people about the offense, and I'm like, I'm just asking for it. The creativity part, I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm just asking for it. There are ways to manipulate offense and make it easier. And it doesn't have to be a struggle.
Sure.
Sometimes defenses are going to get you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they are going to call a defense that's going to get you.
Yeah.
But it can't be every drive. It's like, my gosh, it's
struggle.
It's on the quarterback here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's got to make a play. Mm-hmm. The receiver's got to make a play.
Yeah.
The tight end's got to make a play.
Yeah.
It could be easier,
but
it's not. And that's the thing that I don't have a problem with Mike McCarthy, the play caller. I have a problem with Mike McCarthy I think you can make it easier for yourself. And I don't think they always do that.
Sure.
That's my biggest problem right there.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Brady I mean, yeah, he has one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now over there in Buffalo, but like he ain't got a CD Lamb over there.
No,
those dudes do not have a CD Lamb over there, but they get going. Khalil Shakur, like he was a form. I think he went to the University of Buffalo too. Like he's a guy that's going over there now. A couple of young guys and Keon Coleman. They don't have like this dynamic CD Lamb dude.
No.
You know, and Kincaid is the tight end or whatever. So like that, you can do something similar to what they do. Now Dak ain't Josh Allen for sure, but he ain't gotta be Josh Allen because I can make you 9 other examples. Like the Ravens don't have a CD Lamb. You know,
right?
It's just that. I think Mike McCarthy, I think he gets in his own head a little bit. I think he gets nervous, and a big ass play sheet, I think he focuses on a small bit of it. And I just don't want him thinking on the fly. I don't think this is a game for Mike McCarthy anymore. He need to hand it to somebody else, because if he has to manage the game and think on the fly, I think that's tough. A lot for him. And that's been a criticism of him his whole career. People are like, oh, Mike McCarthy's not a good time management guy. He's not a good, whatever resource manager, because he's having to play call and do all this kind of stuff. Well, maybe that's a sign for you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I like the discussion we had today. We need to figure out these edges. Yeah. Maybe by tomorrow's show, we'll have a few names. I'll have a few names for you. Maybe looked at a couple of guys. But I like what you're talking about with Muhammad, though. Yeah. That makes too much sense. Mm-hmm. They're gonna go out and get a depth piece or two. They have to. I'd love to see him poach a guy, because those guys are ready to play. Mm-hmm. Those guys have been practicing and stuff like that. But hopeful for Carl Lawson too, man.
I wonder what Isaiah Land is doing, Bryan Broaddus. Like, is he on the active roster still, or is he a guy that's a practice squad guy?
I think I was on the show today with Nick Harris and Ambar and Derek, and I think Nick brought his name up there with was with the Colts still.
Yeah. He's with the Colts, and he played yesterday. All right, cool. And he got a big ass penalty. So all right, cool. Don't worry about it. So he's active and he's playing. But hey, whatever. Hey, Bryan Broaddus, I appreciate you, man, with this impromptu in the middle of the day show here, sir. Thanks for tapping in with us, and we'll do this again tomorrow, sir.
I appreciate you and appreciate everybody out there. Thanks for allowing me to hit you in the middle. I have some an engagement that the old man has to do, but didn't want to miss an opportunity to talk some ball with you. So thank you for doing that, sir. We'll see everybody tomorrow.
100%, Mr. Wolf. Hey, tap into Voch Lombardi. I'm talking now. That's cool. But Bryan Broaddus, he's going to be having those conversations with you that he's been talking about the whole show. So y'all be sure to tap in with him on Twitter. All right, y'all hold it down until next time. We love y'all to pieces, and crown.